All right, seventh grade, here is your math lesson number 3. It is estimating sums and differences. It is once again a review lesson. All right, lesson 3. Our vocabulary that goes with this is estimate an answer that is close to the exact answer. Remember to round. Look at the digit to the right of the place being rounded to. Then follow the rules for rounding up or down. When you estimate, you use mental math to make the calculation easier. We have some additional vocabulary down below, and it says the symbol equal means approximately equal to. Now, this is a special equal sign, and it is squiggly. So it looks like that. And that means an estimation. So we're going to be estimating sums and differences. An estimate may be made with an exact answer is not needed. There are several strategies to use to estimate a sum or a difference. Estimates can vary depending on the strategy used. When you estimate, you want to use numbers that are close to the original numbers but are easier to work with. So, problem number 1, Lee Young needs to estimate how many tickets were sold to 3 concerts last month. She knows that, and I'm going to highlight the number. 4,050 tickets were sold for the first concert, 700 for the second one, and 4,380 for the third one. Lee Young can use one of the following strategies. And there are 3 strategies that we're going to be using. The first one is just the straight rounding strategy. So we have written our 3 numbers down, and we are going to round to the nearest thousands position. So I'm going to circle my 1,000. I'm going to look over to the next number. So my first one, the number that follows my circle, is a 0. So my circle stays the same. So I get 4,000. My next problem is a 0. I look to the right. It's a 7. So I'm going to round the circle up. So a 0 becomes a 1,000. And then the last one, we look to the right. It's a 3. So my number in the circle stays the same, 4,000. Then I just add them up and I get an estimate of 9,000. The next one is called front end strategy. Now, with this one, it's a little bit different method. You may or may not have seen it before, but you have to follow the steps. It says add the front digits. So we have 4 plus 0 plus 8. We're adding these right here. 4 plus 0 plus 4 equals 8. Then estimate the sum of the rest of the estimate. So I just rounded, and the first one, I rounded 50 down here. I got 700. They're all got zeros on the end, so I'm not changing them. And then 380. So I rounded to the nearest 10. When I add those 3 numbers up, I get 1,000. So then I take my front end estimate and add it to what I got up here, and I get an estimate of 9,000. So if you look, both rounding and front end strategy, I got the same estimate. So when we come down here, we have a problem, number 2, and it says 8,937 tickets were sold last year for the same series. Of those, 4,508 tickets were for the first concert. How many were sold for the remaining concerts? So if I go and do my rounding strategy again, I have my 2 numbers. When I round them, I get 9,000 for my first one, and I get 5,000 for my second one, and I am now subtracting. So 9,000 minus 5,000 is 4,000. Then we have compatible number strategy. Now, with compatible numbers, we're just looking at numbers that are easy to work with. So on my first one, 8,937, a compatible number would be 9,000. On the second one, 4,508, compatible number is 4,500. Then I can subtract, and I got 0 minus 0 is 0, 0 minus 0 is 0, 0 minus 5, I can't take 0 minus 5. So if you remember to old math, I borrow a cup of sugar from the neighbor and I get 10 minus 5 is 5. 8 minus 4 is 4. So on these two, I get an estimate of 4,000 and then 4,500. They are relatively close. On our next guided practice, we are going to be doing the estimation. The first problem's an addition, and it says estimate 6,809 plus 4,100. Now it gives you a little hint over here on the think. Now, which strategy am I going to use? On the first one, I am just going to use straight rounding. Now, for straight rounding, I can come up here and circle what's in the thousands place. I'm going to look to the right, and I get 6,000. I'm going to use my work over here and get 7,000 on my first one, plus 4,000. Notice the think gave us a hint. And when I add these, I get 0, 0, 0. 7 plus 4 is 11. So I get 11,000. So I'm just going to write 11,000 right there. On problem number 2, says, which strategy did you use? Now, over here in the think, it gives us 25 minus 15. Those are pretty easy numbers. So what this strategy is using is the compatible, that's a period. I'm going to let you abbreviate that number. So over here, compatible number, 26,000. Now, a compatible number to 26 is 25. So I'm going to write 25,000. And I'm going to subtract from that right here. That a compatible number is 15,000. And when I subtract that, I get 10,000. So I'm going to write 10,000 on my line. That is the guided practice. Now, when you come down to the exercises, if you notice, it says estimate using rounding or compatible numbers. You can pick which one you use. We have estimate using front end, and then you have choose a strategy to estimate. Down here, it's a choice. Up here, you can use rounding or compatible numbers. Now, a guide on this. When you look here, one thing I like to look at, all of these are hundreds. So I think if I was to round these first ones, I would just round to the hundreds place. Hopefully your writing is better than mine. So on this first one, if I'm going to round that, I'm going to get 400. If I round the second one, I'm going to get 600. If I round the last one, I'm going to get 400. Notice, be careful when you're doing this. It is an addition one for this first one. So I'm going to add. I get 0, 0. 4 plus 6 is 10. 6 plus 4 is 14. Excuse me, 10 plus 4 is 14. I put my comma. It looks more like a 0, comma. Now, I'm going to highlight for you guys. Remember to do what it's asking for. You can use either compatible or rounding. I find rounding easier, but that's your choice. All right, pause the video and finish off those problems. Now, 9, 10, and 11, it says use front-end estimation. If you remember from front-end estimation, You are supposed to add up the first digits or subtract them. So I have 1 plus 2 plus 4. That's 7. Okay, so that would be 7,000. Notice I'm leaving some space over here because I can finish my problem off right there. That's supposed to be a plus. 7,000 plus. Now, you're supposed to round these. So this one would be like saying 400, because if I circle and look, this one would be like 300, and this one would be like 100. Now, you could even take it a little further and do 430 plus 310 plus 130. Either way is okay. So when I add these up, I get 8. So now I know that 7,000 plus 800 is 7,800. So you're going to do that on the last two problems. Don't forget, this one's add, this one's subtract. When you get, go ahead and pause the video and get the last two problems done. On problems 12 through 13, you can choose whatever strategy you want to use. It can be rounding, it can be compatible, it could be front end. You just need to get the answer estimated. And don't forget, add and then subtract. Go ahead and pause the video and do problems 12, 13, and 14. On problem 15, what strategy do you prefer to when estimating and why? Your sentence needs to start out with I like to use, and then tell me which one you use. Then you could come in with a because, and then tell me the rest. And don't forget to end your sentence with a period. All right. Last but not least, don't forget to submit this to me through Canvas when you get finished. Have fun and enjoy.